is that now all my items are text only, plain text. You may be thinking, are you out of your mind in 2022 and you choose plain text by choice, not by technical limitations in the 20 years ago or 30 years ago? Yes. And I have been doing this incrementally. I have many templates. Let me use the one template, I don't know, meaning, just plain and simple plain text. And because since I'm doing these cards from incremental reading as well, I have made a lot of styling that I don't want to, right? Now let me add whatever the sentence or the pronunciation. This is also all language related, so it's easier. Let me go one step further. Let me go to my incremental reading cards, the items. And now I cannot go to the back to the HTML. Let me show you some examples from the outstanding queue. Okay, so here I have a subset of one branch. And now all of these items comes from incremental reading. And you can see that is a close deletion. But now it's not that obvious what it is, right? Because it's plain text. I have done this change incrementally. I almost never used the built-in orange color. I used the pink because it's the color I was familiar with. For me, pink meant close deletion with Anki for so many years. Then I recolored that to another shape of gray. You may have seen this in many videos of mine. Then another one that it was almost the same as the background. It was one very little change of shade, but not the same color. And what I did now is that it is plain text. Because now when I see the item pops up, I start reading. I don't know where the close deletion is, because it's not that obvious. Secondly, I focus so much on the meaning is that these words, the text, is just a messenger. It's just the vehicle you use to trigger the thoughts, the memories, and so on. So in this case, let me show you another example. What happened is that since I did many items using HTML components, and then I applied this template that was plain text, I still have the HTML, so it is rendered as plain text. But if I check the source, it's actually an HTML. Here I have still styling and reference, and perhaps I could have links and whatever, CSS classes and so on. So now if I press Ctrl F12, now it's absolutely plain text. Here it is, now plain text. But it looks the same. So what I did, another step of incrementalism, before fully switching to this item template of text only, I had two versions. So I just converted some of them, I filtered outstanding so I can have A and B test and so on. So don't think that I switch it one day, boom, everything is plain text and that's it. So long story short is that all the styling becomes noise. It's just I'm so focused. It's like a continuum when I'm doing repetitions. Since everything is the same color, the same background color, and only the change of the color is just a shortcut. This is about language, or perhaps it's the same narration, but I want to recall it as vocabulary. In English that is serial position effect, because what happened before is that I was using Spanish, and then I use cards. This concept I already know, understand. How do you call it in English? But now, the recent years, I'm using English as a lingua franca, as a vehicular language. So when I make the card to signal, this is meant to actively recall the name of the concept. Not about how the concept correlates to or works, no, this is just the name of it. Or if there are different names, or perhaps the pronunciation, and so on. Since now it's a continuum, there's no noise when I do items. I focus so much on the content, on the meaning, on the semantics, and then the picture, that is usually also a semantic connection, it's not random. That, wow, I don't need anything else. Plain text does the jobs. And using plain text, I have so many perks within the search and so on. So here, I'm reusing the same image. That is because it's the same topic, the same concept of serial position effect. But now I'm relating that with Ebbinghaus. Well, that was coined for Ebbinghaus. I don't know how to express it. It's like you have an inner dialogue within yourself. You focus so much on semantics that, I'm teleporting to the consciousness of the last time I thought about this, perhaps last week, last month, half a year ago, or whatever. Then I connect to myself back then, but now I have a different previous knowledge. So I can make changes or make new connections or understand fully or in a different layer than before. And I don't have any noise about styling, colors, or whatever. And on top of that, I save lots of time. And since I'm using topics, I'm in concepts. I'm auto-applying a plain text template. That means, let me show you one example. Okay, so I just went to the last import of this backup. It's parable. I think it's pronounced. I don't even know if it's pronounced like that. Now let's pretend I only want to do this, just for the example, to make it quick. I do the extract, and now I make the cancellation of this. What will happen is that now I have a plain text component. So SuperMemo is rendering this as plain text, but it is still an HTML file. Look at this. But what I discovered that as soon as I do any change, for instance now, I do my own convention, a concert, what will happen is that now it's a text file. So I don't actually need to press Ctrl-Shift F12 to get rid of the HTML. So I have one implicit cue, hint, that this item, if it's an HTML, means that I haven't reworded. I just did the Alt-Z to make the cancellation, and that's it. Something I have for free. And also, what happens is that the HTML file is deleted from the elements folder. I have hundreds of thousands. So incrementally, I will be saving a space. And long story short, only topics will be HTML,